Good evening. It's a beautiful Monday afternoon here in Toronto. How is everybody doing? It's time for a little Caribbean jazz. We feel like we're in the Caribbean. I dressed up like I was in the Caribbean today because, we're coming to you. Well, I'm coming to you from Toronto, but my guest is coming to you straight from the beautiful island of Trinidad and Tobago. And so we need a little island vibe in the house. And, we always listening to Calabash. Calabash is out of Toronto playing Caribbean jazz led by Anthony Pierre. You hear Darren Shepherd on the steel drums. You're going to have Darren on the show one day. We're going to talk about jazz and Caribbean jazz. Good evening, Sarah Oyango, all the way from Ottawa. Love seeing you here. And if you are live, please let us know where you're tuning in from. I am so excited to be here. Took the day off last week, Wednesday, but you know what? Some rest and rejuvenation is going to happen during this summer because you know what? We all have to take care of ourselves. So welcome to the Victory Speaks Inside Conversation series. And I'm your host, Nicole Waldron, your voice of victory and your mental fitness coach. And I'm on a mission to inspire you to live a victorious lifestyle. And as we curate these inspiring conversations with everyday experts, unsung heroes, and thought leaders, I hope that you will be empowered as I am empowered as I meet them along my journey. I have recognized that no matter what type of conversations we have, good, bad, funny, you name it, we can be inspired. And it's all about perspective. And so tonight, I am so excited to introduce you to a young woman whose perspective is changing and affecting lives. My Victory Speaks guest tonight is theater practitioner, social activist, online host, and podcaster, Candice Andrews. And she is known as a creative and educator and an advocate for the holistic development of girls and women. Her motto is one person plants, another one waters, and we all feel the impact. Today, she encourages young entrepreneurs globally to take their gift online so that they can have more income and a greater impact. She also is the host of Heal the Human podcast and believes that without a positive and stable mental and emotional health status, that we cannot perform at our God-given potential. So I want you to sit back, relax. Remember, sharing is caring, and invite your friends, your family, and loved ones to tune in to witness, witness the beautiful Candice. And we're going to bring her up to the Victory Speak stage. Now, show your emojis, show your hearts, show your love, and let's get ready to bring her up. Woohoo! We are going to bring her up to the stage. Woo! And this is it. We love
Wow.
you. We love you.
Wow.
We love you.
What an introduction. I need to record you and I need to carry you in my pocket somewhere and just press play every time I go live.
Listen, I was talking about you. It's all about you, you know. You are supercalifragilisticexpialidocious, and since learning about you and hearing about you, I am super excited today. You gave me the vibes to want to just to say, no, the vacation is temporarily over. You had to come back on just for Candice.
Yes. And I am glad that you did because persons need to get the victory and overcome what they're going through, and they need to hear our discussion tonight. So I'm really happy and excited.
So I want to introduce you guys to my new adopted sister because I'm adopting her as my new sister, right? Because you will hear her languaging is so much, it's just so parallel to mine that I love it. And Sarah is online, and wherever you're in from, drop us in the comment. And Sarah, yes, the Calabash City is for sale, and I will drop the link to the Calabash City. So now you're in Trinidad, and I know it's hot over there. It's hot here today, and it's humid. How are things, since the pandemic? How have you been handling the pandemic?
Well, I tell people today, never panic in a pandemic. A
Mm,
pandemic is a place to pivot. a pandemic is a place to have a new perspective. And when it first happened, I wouldn't lie to you all, I was at a standstill for a while until I was able to get my bearings by God's grace. And then I realized, no, I have to do something about this because I'm an extrovert and I need to have that connection with persons. So I decided to go live on Instagram. I decided to go live on Facebook, and I formed this really beautiful online community. And they have just been warming my heart and pushing me to do more. And it really was something else. I at first my mom was like, "Okay, when you reach at the door, take off your shoes. Let me hand you your towel. Let's sanitize." And everything was just in a panic. And I had
Right.
to just slow down. And I said, God has given us this amazing opportunity to pause, reflect, and think about what really matters most in this life. Because we live so many hectic lives, we do so many things, but are we really productive? Are we really progressive? Are we really doing something positive for others and even for ourselves? And you know, the biggest buzzword in the pandemic, self care. I did not know
Mhm.
what self care meant. I was an energizer bunny. I worked in and out, and the pandemic was a moment for me to breathe,
Yes.
recalibrate, understand
Mhm.
why you were sent to the world, and go forward and impact the globe. And that was just me. So I gained a little weight, but guess what? The gyms are opening back today, thank God. And yes, so it's been positive. It's been lonely at times because
Yeah.
I'm a hugger. I haven't been able to hug my family and see them. My grandmother, I normally will go and squeeze her cheeks in the morning, and she's like, no, 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 no. She says, Candace, you go to the grocery, you go to the supermarket. I don't know who you touch, you know. So
Yeah.
it's been a roller coaster, but right now I am living my best life. I could truly say it's been a blessing, and I'm just excited to see what happens next.
Well, listen, you used all the right words, and it's truly a time where I love when you said, not to panic in this pandemic. And I tell you, if you are live on the replay, it's time to share because guess what? You see the wisdom keys. She's already dropping these wisdom nuggets, and just your perspective. It's about shifting the perspective, and I can really relate to starting that podcast,
Right.
the pandemic, and how that has affected you. So we're going to talk about that podcast a little later on. What I want to know is, when I heard about you, I heard that when you were just 10 years old, your dad
Mhm.
passed away in a tragic car accident. How did this affect you, and how did you deal with your grief?
Wow. Well, it's still affecting me today. I had a
Mhm.
conversation with my auntie a couple of nights ago, and she had to really console me and let me know, Candace, if your dad was alive, he would be so proud of you. But I want persons to know that there's something that happens to the mental and the psyche and the emotions of a young woman when her father dies at an early age. And not just her father dying, but not having enough strong males around, because most of my uncles, they live abroad, and even though they try to be a part of my life, there's still this disconnect because they live abroad, and that's the reality. So for me, I had a really hard childhood in terms of being affirmed, understanding my self-worth. I suffered with self-esteem at secondary school. I was bullied. A lot of people don't know I was beaten up quite a lot in school. I never told my mother because I didn't want her to transfer me to another school, because while I was being beaten up, I was making really good headway for my school because I was in Sandfest, I was in Drama Festival, I was in Best Village. So the drama room was a room of escape for me. It was a room to hide away. And my drama teacher, she was like my school mother. Everybody has a school mother, and I could go to her and talk to her. And I think my perspective of men and relationships with the male was affected because I didn't understand how to communicate with a man, with a male. I didn't understand their mind because while I have brothers, everybody was still trying to figure out life on their own, right?
Hmm.
My eldest brother, he's 2 years older than I am. As soon as he got to university, he left. He didn't come back home because he needed to spread his wings and make a
Right.
life of his own.
Hmm.
So I, being the first girl at home, trying to be like a big mommy because mommy had to work and be both
Hmm.
mommy and daddy at the same time. It was really hard. And
Hmm.
I just didn't understand how I'm supposed to be and how I'm supposed to show up, what I'm supposed to do. Nobody gave me a guidebook. So I was just figuring it out through theater. So theater
Right.
was my avenue to show up and to be seen and to be heard, right? There was no other place I felt powerful than on stage. Because while I was on stage, the audience would go pitch black and all eyes would be on me. I remember one day on stage, this guy, he was so in the role. He acted my uncle, my evil uncle.
Mm.
And it was this African play. And I was going against his wishes. He was like this ruler, this king. And I remember he was so impacted by my acting, and we were feeding it off each other's energy so much. He literally slapped me like on the face.
Wow.
I I completely I forgot all my lines, I forgot all my blocking, all my movement, and I just stared at him. I broke down crying. Some kind of words came out my mouth, and everybody was like, "Woo!" screaming, and I'm like, they have no clue that I am losing ground here. But
Right.
that slap for me was, Candice, there are things in your life you really need to wake up about, because
Mm.
I was cognizant on stage, but in the stage of my life I didn't have it together. Everything was just in a mess. So growing up without a father, I miss him dearly. I wish he was in my life, of course. But I'm thankful for the legacy he left, because he was so good to so many people. I am still reaping from that crop. I am still reaping from that goodness he shared. And I mean, when I hear people talk about him, I sometimes get jealous because I don't even know that version of him. A lot of things are still blurry for me, but I
Right.
thank God that he really, really left a legacy for his family. He left
Hmm.
land for us. He made sure we were okay. So even in his absence, we are still able to stand on some sort of solid ground. And my father has been really a big pillar in my life. And of course, people say girls marry their fathers. So I hope I,
Right.
I get married to somebody as good as my dad, because he was amazing and talented. So I grew up in a musical family, and I believe that theater saved me in the fact that I got an outlet to express,
Right.
and I got to understand the world at a young age, because I was playing characters older than I was.
Mm.
I was thrown into situations where I had to speak up for myself. So I don't know, like looking back on it now, and I'm happy we are having this conversation, because I'm seeing where I would have overcome so much and I didn't even understand. I didn't realize, wow, Candice, you've really come far by God's grace. And I'm thankful to my mother and my family, because I don't think anybody has the patience to understand the being that I am, because sometimes I go into a shell sometimes, because so many thoughts are in my mind, so many things I want to do. But when sometimes life feels bigger than you, you're not
Yes.
sure who to talk to, you're not sure who
Yes.
to bounce this idea
Yes.
off. So I'm really thankful that they accept me for who I am. They realize, don't worry, Candice will figure it out. She has her head screwed on right, so it's all good. So yeah, I'm just really blessed, really blessed. I want to tell fathers out there, do not underestimate the role you play in your daughter's lives, especially
Mm.
your sons, because your daughter is the first, your modeling is the first everything she's going to learn of what a
Yes.
man is or what he should be. So whatever you show up as, that is what she's going to look out for. So my mother said she's sorry that he died in our lives so young, because they really loved each other and we didn't get to see that love, because my father
Mm.
worked shift. So when I'm going to school, putting in a ribbon and a ring comb in my hair, he's now coming from work. So I didn't get to understand that dynamics. So
You just got to hear about who he was, and as you say, you reap the benefits of who he was from the people around you, and
yeah,
that speaks to, he definitely sounded like a man that we all wanted to know. But now we're meeting him through you and through the work that you're doing, and
yeah.
just listening to you in the time frame that I have, um, and knowing your auntie and stuff, it's like, yes, you come from good soil. And so, you say that theater, and you got through that bullying. Like, let's pause on the bullying. Like, how did you even navigate being bullied in school? Because I am sure there are lots of young people that are being bullied in school and don't even know how to navigate this thing. And the first thing, they go down this very dark road. How did
Right.
you get through this bullying?
Right. So, in my mind, bullying is a form of abuse.
It is.
Somebody is taking, they are abnormally using you, right?
That's right.
Abuse is abnormal use. So, I think one of the things in somebody's mind who is being bullied, to be silent, don't tell anyone,
Hmm.
because you don't want things to go bad and the bullying
Yes.
continues. But we need to speak up. We need to find persons that we trust, and we need to share how we feel. We need to be able to understand our words, because I think for me, I am not a fighter. I tell people I'm a lover. I have a lot of love in me. So when I was being beaten up, there
Hmm.
was nothing in me to fight back. Even though I had this anger in me that they were taking advantage of me, I couldn't find it in myself to fight back. So maybe if I use my words, if I was more confident in terms of, hey, don't hit me, don't
Right.
hit
Yeah.
me.
Yeah.
I could take this to authority. I can get you in trouble. So it's really hard to, in the mind of somebody being abused, you think to some extent you deserve it. You think to some extent it
Yes.
it was supposed to happen to you. So one thing, don't stay silent. Another thing, you have to build stamina. You have to build resiliency. You have to be vocal for yourself. Sometimes we advocate for so many things, but we don't even advocate for our own well-being.
Mm.
So I needed to be honest about that. And I also needed to be honest about who I associate myself with. Because even while the bullies were bullying me, I was still making them laugh. I was still helping them with their homework. I was still having close proximity with them. So I needed to separate myself to protect myself and to elevate. Because show me your friends, I'll show you your future. And guess what? I was I was suspended, and my mother was crying in the principal office saying, I have never come in school for any of my children. Candice, how did you end up here? And it was because I was in the wrong place with the wrong people at the wrong time. Right? I didn't do anything wrong, but by association,
Yes.
I was basically reaping those bad rewards,
Hmm. Hmm.
right? So after I decided, you know what, I don't want to hang around y'all anymore. They made me prefect, and because I became prefect, they started to respect me. So sometimes you need to own your ground, you need to own your power, and you really have to pray. I don't think my spirituality was strong during secondary school. I was just trying to
Right.
figure it out. I was still trying to figure out how to deal with boys, because I went to all girls Catholic school and we were told, keep your legs closed,
Yes.
be
Yes.
quiet, be quiet, make sure your knickers is on properly, make sure your shirt is white and your sneakers are white. And I didn't know. So when I got into Form 1, there was this boy who would sit down next to me in the car going home, and I would be like, this guy likes me. Why is he sitting down next to me? And one day I said, so you're not gonna ask me to carry me out? He said, why? I said, because you like me. He said, no. Why? What gave you that idea? I said, you sit down next to me every time we're going home. He said, it's because I don't want to wear my seat belts. But I don't like you.
Oh
And
gosh.
I was flabbergasted. I was like, this guy does not understand. Doesn't he see my cute mole? Doesn't he see it? Like, what's wrong with him?
I
But
love you,
anyway,
Candace.
so I was still trying to navigate secondary school while everybody was having a boyfriend. I was in a track pants and a white t-shirt rehearsing on public holidays while everybody going Cascadia waterfall. I was working hard at
Hmm.
theater, and the hard work paid off because I was one of the youngest student directors. I was writing plays at the age of 15,
Wow.
and God really opened a lot of doors for me early o'clock, but I didn't understand the value of it because I didn't understand the value of me, you know?
Mm.
So it was really looking back now, I said, wow, Candice, you've been doing a lot. And you and I were talking about this idea of modesty, but it's a false humility, because
Mhm.
God really wants us to show up and show off for him and his kingdom. And sometimes we play small. We play too small in this life.
Mhm.
And we are where we are because of our thoughts, because of what we compromised on, because of the fact of not investing in you. You are the greatest investment so that you could be an investment to others. Investment starts with I. So many people think
Hey,
investment
come
starts
on
with
now.
you.
Come on now.
Investment starts with I. I cannot pour from an empty cup. I can't. I can't. Unless I pour in it for Casper, and I don't believe in ghosts. So
And
whether
this,
he's
don't
friendly or
make
not.
me fall off this chair here today.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Investment begins with I. And I believe most of us don't begin at what do I need at this point in time to be successful? What do I need in this point of time to move to the next level? A lot of us are going investing in everybody else business, investing in everybody else's life. We are burning out ourselves on both ends, not realizing that we're not taking time for us. We're not, and that is not selfish. That is not selfish. Because you know what? God is going to hold you responsible for every talent that you didn't make use of. The graveyard is the richest place because there's untapped potential, untapped possibilities. And today, I cannot oversleep anymore. Well, except for today, because I was really tired over the weekend. But I have to wake up knowing, hey, wake up your successful self. Get up and get going, get doing. Because guess what? We don't have much time. My father died when he was 38. I'm 31. He died like next 7 years. We don't have time. All this time we think we don't have much time. You were placed here to contribute to solve some issue in the world. So you have to wake up. You have to wake up and not just taking the blanket off and, as we say in Trinidad, washing the yampy from your eyes, but wake up with the reality. You have goals, you have a vision, you have a purpose, and distraction is all over. Trust me, I get it. Distraction watches me and say, hey, what are we going to do today? We're going to hang out, or what are we going to do? What are we going to do? But we can't be distracted. Distraction comes when we take our eyes off the master and we take our eyes off the goal. We can't afford to do that, Nicole. We can't.
I I um I just hear because you just dropping it like it's fire you dropping tonight. I just have to give you some love because I know you've been talking, but you may not have been seeing the comments that are coming up, Miss Lady. Congratulations to where you've gotten and where you've yet to go. You
Thank
know,
you.
Auntie Shirma is so proud of you, Candice. And
Thank you.
I'm going to drop some more of what you've been saying because let me tell you, people are writing. People are writing. Investment starts with I. Mic drop.
Yeah. Talking about writing, Nicole, I don't know if it's a practice of yours, but what has helped me gain the victory in life is journaling. I have about
Mm,
10 journals. I journal about every single facet of my life, my financial life, my
wow.
spiritual life, my relationships. I have to journal. You know why? I don't have all that money to give to a counselor every single hour of the day for me. I go through so much. I have to find a way to process it. And I want persons to know whatever you don't process, you cannot progress from. You cannot. Whatever you don't process, you cannot progress from. And whatever you don't reveal, you cannot and you will not heal from. Because you know what? The scab is going to be there, but the slightest graze is going to lift off the skin. And when that skin is lifted, you are exposed. You may not be in a position to handle what is happening to you. All of us, including myself, we need to work on our mental and emotional health. A lot of us are out of sync. We're producing fruit, but we're not multiplying. God wants you to produce and multiply. Be fruitful and multiply. Multiplying is making sure other needs are met. And if you are not serving, you are not living. If you're not giving, you are not living. And a lot of persons are getting spiritually fat, spiritually obese, financially fat, financially obese, and they are doing nothing with it. What are you doing to help somebody? What are you doing? You're just living for you? Go to Mars and plant a tree. Don't do it. Don't do it. I've done it for too long and I need to wake myself up. And I thank God he did it.
I thank God he did it too. I really thank God he did it. Like Candice, um, I'm glad I have a box of tissues next to me. I don't know about you, but I know for sure, as you know, one of the things I know for sure is that God is saying, well done, even at this age. And your dad would be saying the same thing to you too. And I know many people listening here are just gleaning from what you're saying because they're just writing out what you're saying and it is resonating and you are totally moving in purpose. And the fact that theater, has inspired you to come to
Yeah.
this level of greatness, and you've taken this place to totally be just self-aware. And when I look at it, you graduated like first in class in honors, it being in your theater. Like, what did knowing all that you went through, what did that mean to you? Like,
Man.
what did that feel like? What was that journey?
So, Nicole, I'll be very honest and transparent with you, and I have been since we started speaking. I was really rebellious at university. When I mean rebellious, I grew up in a sheltered home. I was raised Catholic, and I was told certain things, but I only really found parts of me when I went to university. So
Mm-hmm.
when that happened, I was like, wait, this is part of me? I'm gonna forget everything I learned and I just gonna live my life. Basically, there's a soca that says live my life. I was really rebellious. So when I found out, my lecturer called me in, he said, Candice, I have some news for you. I said, what's happening? Something wrong? He said, Candice, you are 1 point from getting first class honors. I need you to focus, buckle down, and graduate with first class honors. I
Wow.
was 1A away from first class honors. But I'll give you the backstory in a while. When I found out that, I said, nice, I'm going to shave my head off. I'm going to look really out of it. Because what happened, a lot of persons used to judge me in school. They
Mm-hmm.
used to say, because I was a slow learner, by the way, thank God. In standard 3, when my father died, all my grades dropped. And
Mm-hmm.
I was like, duh, I wasn't myself. Of
Of
course, my
course.
grades dropped.
Yeah.
So they said, you're C learner now, you're D learner now. I said, okay.
Label in, label in, label in.
Yeah, so I believe that. So I went through my life thinking, Candice, you're a slow learner. That was the recurring, music in my head.
Yeah.
So I said, from slow learner to first class, I gonna show you today. So I went by the barber. I shaved off my entire head. When I came home, my mother said, what is happening? I said, don't worry, you'll be happy. When they called my name, because what they call your name, they call your department, like whatever you were
Yeah.
studying, and then they call what rank you made, right? So they were like, Candice Marie Andrews. So I there walking with my shaved head, and I could feel everybody's eyes
Yes.
touching me. Look at her. Where
Yeah.
she come from? What's she doing? When they heard first class honors, I am telling you, people makeup was sweating off their faces, right? My mother was in the audience. We were in this enclosed indoor arena. So
Mm-hmm.
everything echoes. My mother, woo, woo. And I could see my grandmother in the stands. Johanna, please,
Sit
please,
down.
Johanna.
Yeah, embarrassing.
And when I crossed that stage, Nicole, I felt as if all of heaven took a day off and they were watching me
Mm,
on big screen saying, yeah, we work hard to get you there. We work hard to put you there. Because, Nicola, I'm telling you, I went through some stuff that a young woman shouldn't face.
mm,
I was clinically diagnosed with depression for 2 years. Most of my family don't know because I didn't want to create a pity party. So
right.
my immediate family knew I was on medication. I was at Mount Hope. I was at all the health clinics you could think of. They were trying to figure out what was going on,
Yeah.
right? I tried to commit suicide multiple times because I just didn't understand the being I was. I didn't understand the being that God created me to be. And I just didn't understand life anymore. One of my friends, he was really close to me. When he realized what was happening, I was dropping weight by the day, Nicole, dropping weight. Like
Mhm.
everything was just out of sync. And my friend used to come to my apartment. He would say, Candice, let me make some breakfast. Go on bed and just show up to class. Just show up. Just show up.
Mhm.
Unfortunately, he died like 2 years later from cancer. And I felt like, Lord, why are you bringing these people to help me? Right? They shouldn't be dying. I should be the one dying,
Mhm.
you
Mhm.
know? And that was what I was going through. And my brother said, Candice, that's my oldest brother. I'm getting emotional, but it's all good. It's a true story. He said, Candice, I refuse to let you drown in your darkness. My brother took all the money from his pocket and he paid for counseling for me. So after every class, every day, I would take time to do my counseling homework and I would go for counseling every day. Every day I went for counseling. Thank God. God bless her soul. Her name is Margaret Chatu. I believe she's the head of the counseling services in Trinidad and Tobago. She sat with me and it was messy. It was messy. Long story short, she said, Candice, I'm going to let you volunteer to help a boy who is autistic. And do you know, within 2 months, I forgot about my depression.
Right.
After 2 years of being clinically diagnosed and taking medication and antidepressants, I was helping this boy. And that is what I'm telling people. I'm telling people when you serve, your giftings come out. It oozes out of you.
Mhm.
You see who you were really meant to be. You know, so I tell people, trust me, I've been up and down and everywhere, but God has really, really been patient with me. When I see my guardian angels in heaven, I have to buy them a rounds of LLB or some sort of juice and say thank you, because you all really took a lot of blows for me. And yeah, it's this is our victory walk. We have to be victorious. We have to take one step at a time. We have to be compassionate with ourselves. Too many of us take ourselves too serious and too hard, and we really need to just give ourselves what we need. You know, so I know that was a mouthful, but crossing the stage was good. First class honors opened doors for me. I worked on Broadway. I traveled to Manchester. I performed on the streets of New York. I performed off Broadway. You name it. I was there. It was happening. And God was just opening doors one after the other. So crossing the stage with my rebellious, shaved bald head was amazing. Of course, I have to show everybody, oh, this is my graduation pic. Don't worry about the ball head, but I got first class, you know? So,
And the bald head to me symbolizes becoming. It
Mhm.
symbolizes a new growth. It symbolizes, something. Some people might see it as rebellion, and I see it as a rebirth because,
Mhm.
many babies come back into the world with very little to no hair.
Right.
And little did you know you were taking off the weight
Mhm.
of that,
Mhm.
and you came into a new self. And I can understand and I can relate. I tell you, Shoma and all the relatives, and I am adopting her. It is official. She is officially adopted. I will send the papers in the mail to
Mhm.
whoever I need to send it to because you're officially adopted by me as of now.
Hey.
I'm gonna send some flowers to you. See, Auntie Shoma, sweetie, your heavenly father and dad are so proud of you. Funny. Yes, I'm telling you, we are in sync. We are in sync. Your loved ones will make noise for her auntie.
Yes.
All of this line here, all of heaven took a day off. Girl, that was powerful. And I thank you for sharing the vulnerability and the truth, because mental health is without our mental health and wellness, your whole body is not well. And
Right.
so many people don't know that they need to go to counseling, and we don't recognize that it's a brain. Your brain is not functioning at its full capacity. And so
True.
knowing that when you need counseling, because you have to reconfigure your brain, and the medication helps that, and rewiring those things that are misfiring. So the fact that you had such a good counselor, and I'm giving much love to your brother, that he could see it and recognize that, because many men, especially in the Caribbean, would not say you
Yeah.
need to go to counseling. They just leave you there.
Right.
So the
Right.
fact that he did that, I hope, people are seeing it and hearing tonight. And so you talk about, you know, going through that phase and getting the honors, but then you ended up on Broadway. How did you even reach from Trinidad to Broadway? Like, come on now.
I am just like I am. You asked me that, and I'm still trying to connect the dots. But this is a true story. I am, as you shared, I'm an advocate for the development and well-being of women and girls, and I was working with the NGO I'm still a part of. It's
Mhm,
called Drama Making a Difference, DMAD. We got a grant from the IDB Bank to work with girls who are in rural, vulnerable areas that are exposed to domestic violence, and they don't have the opportunities that persons in the city may have. And
mhm,
I spent close to 5 months in that community. And while there, a good friend of mine, his name is Kevin Liverpool, he said, Candice, you are really good at this. You should sign up for a fellowship. I said, what? Fellowship was nowhere in my dictionary. I've
right,
never
right.
heard it before. He said, yes, sign up, sign up. So of course, with my lackadaisical self at that time, I was like, of course I'll sign up. 3 weeks later, he calls,
Mhm,
Candice, did you sign up? You could send me back the link. He said, where are you? I said, I'm going on the road. He said, no, sit down. I'm going to send you the questions. You are going to apply. I said, oh gosh, I don't want to do it. I don't know where to begin, how to write. They asked about
mhm,
advocate. What I mean? He said, you've been doing it all along. Just explain to them what you do. I kid you not. That, let's say that was September. December, I went Dominican Republic to do a wedding because I was doing photography with a friend. And while there, I got an email. Congratulations, you have been accepted to the second round. You have to do some video interviews. What? Okay, let's do it. By the way, where I was, the internet was poor. I had to do the recordings a million times, but I did it. 2 months later, I got a message. Congratulations. You have been selected for the Community Solutions Program. You'll be placed at an organization of your choice. You'll be given a stipend. Welcome. All of
wow.
a sudden, I know homegirl had to go and get injection to get yellow fever, to get she passport, go in the
Oh my
go
God.
to go and get her visa. By the way, I never had my visa before. Eh? When I go into nobody told me, Candice, you cannot walk with water and cream in the visa place. Don't walk with your cell phone. So of course that was a drama by itself. Long story short, I got on a call, I got on a plane, and I was heading to Broadway. By the way, when we got to Broadway, they were like, Candice, we have a surprise for you. Party for this little Caribbean girl up in Broadway. Well, I was so ecstatic. They just love my energy. They love me. They just love
What is
me.
that about you to love? If anybody don't love you, bring them over here and I'll slap them into loving you. I'm sorry, but I find
And
you violent.
yeah, I got so much like the first week we had to perform. We had to write a piece and perform it. There's Broadway, there's off Broadway, and there's off Broadway. What's the
Right.
difference? Seating capacity and what
Right.
happens in the theater. So off Broadway in a downstairs black box theater, yours truly was performing. It was amazing. It was it was God sent. And I remember one night I got free tickets because working on Broadway, you get to go for free to other Broadway theaters and look at shows. So I went to the show, sat down next to this really handsome man. I don't know where he came from. He was like, "Good evening, Candice." I was like, "How you know my name?" He said, "Your name is on the envelope of the tickets I sent to you." I said, "How you know that?" He said, "It's my job to send every employee 2 tickets." I was like, okay, we're gonna have fun tonight. By the way, at the end of the show, this elegantly dressed woman walks up to him. Good night, how are you? So by the way, it have this nice dress white man, and then I next to him, and then the lady is watching him like, okay, well, you're not gonna introduce me. He's like, oh, this is our intern from Trinidad and Tobago. She's from the Caribbean. He's trying to say we're not together, so don't
Right.
get,
Right. Right.
you know. She said, "Oh, welcome, welcome." She said, "What have you seen so far on Broadway?" So I started to call her list of plays. She said, "Oh, no, no, no. Let's say his name was Charles. Charles, have her attend any show she wants. Let it come off my credit card."
What?
Well, your girl was excited. I went to see Tina Turner the musical and I cried. I cried my eyes out. I was sitting in one of the most expensive seats
This is
in Tina
awesome.
Turner the musical. Nicole, I could go on and on, but I'm telling you, Broadway was a moment for me to say, Candice, what you have been doing is worthy of being global. And that was the spark for me. That was his spark. And I want everyone to know Broadway was a dream of mine since a little girl. A lot of people stop dreaming when
Yes.
they get jobs and they get children and they get married. All of a sudden the dream switches off. No, keep the dream
Yes.
alive. Keep the prayers alive. Keep the vision alive. I never imagined this little soul girl could reach to Broadway and get into theaters for free. That is unheard of. But it was amazing. It was amazing.
Candice, I don't know. I try not to I try not to cry here. This is such a beautiful. You need to write a book because you're going to need to have to write several parts to this book, you know. And as Wayne is saying from tuning in from Toronto, you are truly amazing person. May God continue to bless you. You
Thank you
know,
so much. God
Serena
bless you
Serena
too.
is tuning in from Washington. She's still looking forward to seeing that musical.
You
So
need to
like,
see it.
just listening to your life in this short space of time, and you're just in your 30s, you know, and over the last 5 years, you've been integrating, performing arts and stuff to raise community awareness.
Right.
How are you doing that? What are you doing what does that even mean? Like, what are you doing to do this?
Okay. So theater is one of the most powerful tools for transformation. Why? People get to see themselves on stage. People get to see themselves on the outside looking in.
Hmm.
And we use some techniques with drama making a difference called spec acting, where the spectator or the actor or the audience member becomes the actor. So we invite them on stage, we get them to be a part of the narrative, and they solve their own problems. We just are the guides to guide them through, ask them the questions, we replay their emotions, and they see their lives just for what it is. And when you see your life for just for what it is, you are able to pinpoint certain areas that you need to strengthen and you need to connect the dots with. So I do that through theater. Now, because of the pandemic, we have something called cyber theater. And of course, because of my hosting skills, I am able to use our theater techniques as a theater practitioner, bring it from the stage to the screen, and allow persons to engage while using this online platform, using the chat box, using their voice, using video. And it's amazing. The transition is amazing. I'm more excited than ever
Just having a little bit of a Wi-Fi glitch there with Candice, but we're going to bring her back. um, and I'm not sure if Candice realizes. And if you guys are watching and enjoying the show tonight, I am just so excited to have Candice here with us. And she's a theater practitioner doing such great work in Trinidad and
Are you
Tobago.
hearing me now?
Now I'm hearing you, Candice, and I'm going to bring you back up. But your screen, I think,
Let
is
me see if I can
frozen.
do
But
this.
keep talking. Just keep talking. Can you hear us now? There you go. I see you. You're good. You are good. Can you hear me? The beauty of doing live. I just lost Candice for a minute, but bear with us. Candice is going to be right back. And, thank you for tuning in live and on the replay. And this is what we mean by, living a life of victory. Um, so I'm so grateful that Candice is here with us tonight and just sharing her wealth of knowledge and her journey because it is so beautiful. And Joan Pierre is saying, Candice, I love that, letting people act out what they are going through and to work out their problems to reach a resolution. And Serena is like, keep your dreams and vision alive. Just what you're saying there, Candice, is resonating with so many of us. So thank you so much. So you were talking about, what you're doing with the online work and stuff. So go ahead with the story. We're good with the glitch. It's all good.
Okay. Okay. All right. Good. So, of course, I would love to work with these girls in their own communities, their own environments, but that does not, the pandemic does not allow us to do so. So we are doing a lot of online work. So we are
Hmm.
working with police youth clubs, we are working with community centers, and it's really been amazing just to see these youths actually who are zoomed out because they are in
Hmm.
online school,
Yeah, yeah.
um, seeing them having to deal with all these issues and then come online not to work, but they are actually doing the inner work and not even noticing it.
Mm, I love that. Doing the inner work and then not even noticing. And that is so powerful. And what have you realized by these girls doing this?
They have been, they, now there's a saying, I don't know if it's globally, but I know it's in the Caribbean. Girls are to be seen and not heard.
Yes,
And
yes.
I am crashing that narrative, and they are able to speak, to be seen, and to be heard. Because if I'm going through something and you don't want me to be heard, how can I be healed? How can I how can I be saved? you
Yes.
know? So it's about letting them know you have a voice. Your voice is a powerful tool and you need to use it. So it's really been transformational for them. I'm seeing them showing up in different lights. Of course, I love being called Miss. I love this whole teacher thing, Miss. Because don't call me auntie, because I'm still too young to be called auntie, even though I have a niece. And the reason why I do this work too is because I have a niece who's growing up in a world where things are chaotic. And I need to create a space that she can thrive in and she can be proud of to say,
Hmm.
here's what my auntie stands for this. My auntie has these standards, and this is the path that God wants me to walk in. She's gonna be two. So I need to make sure that the persons around her at least could speak for themselves and be
Yeah,
their own advocates.
I love that. And then this online hosting. So is that part of the whole online hosting event that you're doing?
Oh, this is something totally different because
Wait,
even
wait,
though
wait, wait, wait. What do you mean it's totally different?
it's totally different because the online hosting came because before the pandemic, I was hosting graduations, weddings, you name it. And all of that got snipped. And I
Yes.
said, no, 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 no. Whatever I can do offline, I could surely, by God's grace, find a way to do it online. So I decided to rebrand myself as an online host. Of course, I had to do about 60 free hosting events, but
Hmm.
people got to know me. The word
Right.
spread out, and so now I'm teaching persons how to take their gift and put it online. I have a quote. I say, find your gift, find your why, and put a price tag on it.
Oh
When
gosh.
you when you find your gift and you find your why, you are in a space to call your price and get persons to invest in you so you could have a greater impact on this world. So I'm teaching persons through the masterclass how to extract their gift, make it become a valuable resource because it already is, it just needs polishing up, break it down and package it online, sell it to the world so that they can move on in life.
Listen, I need to take this master class. I need to take your master class. I ain't too proud to say I need to take your master class, my friend. And so you're teaching this. What have you seen as you're doing this with the young people and and the entrepreneurship that you're bringing out of them?
Yes. I think what happened when the transformation happened with me, I was able to spread that to others because I never saw myself in business. My youngest sister, she owns her own business. She's She's becoming one of the biggest ice cream producers in Trinidad and Tobago, Renee Andrews, Sovete Titi.
Eh,
And
I have to
and
come to Trinidad now.
yes, we have to send you some ice cream. I don't know if it will come in one piece, but
It may not reach.
it is the best. So I never saw myself as an entrepreneur, but God has provided so many ways for us to make
Mhm.
income. And if we don't have this CEO mindset, we would not be able to run the organization which we are to the best and the top level. So I have seen persons get confidence after one class. Candice, I am able to take my gift. I now understand what I need to do. I've been thinking about this for years. I've been dreaming about it, but I never saw it working. And the thing that makes it work is the online space. Because why? I have clients and customers and participants from Jamaica, from the US, from St. Lucia. Why?
Wow.
Because now everyone is frozen in a pandemic and lifelong learning must continue. Where
Hmm.
does everybody live now? Online. What is free? Online.
Right.
Let's
Yes.
make it happen.
I love that. And then there's this project I saw you did. Was it She Is?
Yes.
Was this part of, where did this come from? What is that about? Because I really loved the impact that I saw when I watched this video. And I encourage everybody, I'm going to drop the link for the video, but tell us about She Is.
Right. So she is what was one of the main projects coming out of the NGO I work with, Drama Making a Difference. And we wanted to change narratives that persons had about women. So, a lot of persons love to say, she is a waste of time, she is no good, she is popular, she is this, she is that. But what is she really? And that was a project to help women tell their stories so that they can empower other women. It turned into a school tour where we were able to take the stories of these young women who were exposed to domestic violence, or they made certain choices in life that landed them in some trouble, and they were able to use their story to empower others. So she is became really amazing, and the video that you are sharing, it's actually a visual journal of our development, of our journey. And in that, the women were able to form their own NGO where they are self-sufficient today. So some of them would have been able to make red mango, kurma. Some would have been able to, they raise animals, and they were able to form and band together to form this beautiful network of women, powerful women, and they were able to help their community. So I wish I could wake up every day, Nicole, and do community work and be paid for it. To be honest, that is what I wish to. But in the meantime, I am so charged to help people get to the next level. I tell people I can show you how your one gift could create 12 and numerous streams of income for you. Who wouldn't love to make money while they're sleeping and dribbling and dreaming
Come
about
on now.
something great?
Well, Serena's already said to me out of Washington, she says, Nicole, we're doing this masterclass together. Yes, we are doing this masterclass together.
Yeah. So the
You know,
last Sunday of every month, I have this masterclass. And last Sunday, which was actually yesterday, I did a masterclass for 8 persons because I wanted it to be intimate so I could give them
mhm.
all of me. I taught them how to design their own masterclass, how to take it from idea to inception, implementation, and I gave them a guide of how to make this happen. I told them there are 3 ways in which quick masterclass, right? Quick masterclass. 3 ways you can do a masterclass, because I know a lot of persons are shy to be on
Yeah.
screen. You can pre-record your class. You can
Yes.
have your masterclass in the form of an interview just like this, but make sure content and value is shared. You can also have it live, right? So I tell people there are many ways to season a chicken. Find your gift, find the best platform that will serve your gift, and let people learn of you. Let people learn so they can earn. The more you learn, you widen your capacity to earn. And why am I talking this money thing? Because I am tired of being broke. I'm tired
Yeah.
of, Auntie, let me get a little small change now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mommy,
Yeah.
I promised my mother after university, don't give me $1. Even if I ask you, don't give
Mm-hmm.
it to me. Because she spent her entire life sending children to university, sending them to school. And I felt like I needed to make something of myself. By the way, I'm a stage technician at Naprima Bowl. I love my job. I adore it. I love working for them. But your job was never meant to fund your gift. Your job
Oh,
was never meant to fund your gift. Your job was meant to appreciate your gift, give it a stipend so that you can go further, but it was never meant to fund your entire gift. It cannot. So that is why you need multiple streams of income. When Christ was on the earth, he could have done this message all alone, but he chose what? 12. Why
yeah.
did he choose 12? Why did he choose 12? Because he knew beyond his death, these 12 individuals will now become streams for his message to go to different parts of the world. That's why
Um,
he's still popular today.
power.
Why I encourage people to go online when the world opens back. The persons are going to remember those who remain relevant, not those who remain silent, those who remain relevant. You could have one person in your class, you are still using that. Get a
Yes.
testimony from that one person and get it rolling, get it going. Don't sleep on it. Don't. We can't afford to. It will cost you every time you sleep on your dream, on your idea, it will cost you. And the cost is
Wow.
high.
I'm being schooled tonight. It will cost you every time you sleep on your dream. That is such a truth. And I could totally relate to that because I could even know the times that I slept on my dreams. And even you sometimes you let those dreams go because of what's happening and life is happening. So I thank
Right.
you for saying that. And even in the pandemic, you've done the yes, she is, and then there's this global impact. So
Mhm.
is that connected to this, or how is that playing in that global
Well,
impact?
actually,
The
the
global
she
leadership
is,
forum, I should say, global leadership
or the
forum.
pro, yes. So, what I tell people, you have little drips of blessing, little drips of things happening, and they fill up to a whole container. And was the drip I needed to get selected to go to the US to do community solutions. And while I was in the US, I got an opportunity to go and represent my cohort at a global leadership forum in Virginia. So I
Okay.
was, yes, and the panel discussion was about creating unison and collaboration. What does that look like? And we were talking about the sustainable development goals. And
Mhm.
I would not, man, they took really good care of me. I almost didn't want to come back home. The reason why I came back home because I didn't want to be deported. I was missing my family and the place
Yeah.
was becoming cold. It was becoming very cold, and the Global Leadership Forum showed me the power of being on a panel.
Mhm. Mhm.
When you are on a panel, you have that one moment, that one shot to change narratives, to get people to think, to plant seeds for generations to come, and to be able to
Powerful.
blossom those seeds. Yeah,
Powerful.
it was amazing. And I would not trade it for the world. I came back just in time before the pandemic it showed its face, and yeah, it's
That was, I never looked at being on a panel like that before. And that was a big moment for me as well. And so now you come back, and then we mentioned earlier you started the podcast, and I want you to tell the folks about this podcast that you have started, because I love the name of this podcast and what it is doing, Heal the Human Podcast. And so I tell you, Sherman Ian, I'm adopting her. It's done. It's done.
so basically I wanted to tell people to take care of their health
Hmm.
because I was having a hard time balancing life and being healthy. So I said, I don't want persons to think I'm this doctor or health practitioner, because I'm not.
Mm-hmm.
But I really wanted that health part to resonate. So I broke up the word, because I love playing with words, by the way. I broke up the word health. So what is the first four letters of health, Nicole?
What's the first four letters of what?
Of the word health.
The first health is heal.
Right. It's heal, right? And
Yes.
then, and then,
Oh, you went on. You went on. Okay, go ahead.
okay, after heal, there are two other letters. What are the other two letters?
TH.
TH, right. So my podcast is called Heal the Human, and that is health. Health is about the human being healed.
I love it. I love it.
So I was getting tired of writing in my journal. So I said, you know what? Let me have a vocal journal where I could share my thoughts with the world. Because I know if I'm going through it, somebody else around the globe is going through it as well. So I decided to get on every Monday and share something that disrupted my soul, my mind, my spirit. And I spoke about it. So one day I was talking about knowing your tribe. And knowing your tribe is so important, because trust me, Nicole, the person you are today was because the community of persons you were surrounded by, they were living in purpose. They were speaking into your life,
Mm-hmm.
and they were
Mm-hmm.
supporting you from afar or very near. So
Mm-hmm.
I tell people, work on you, heal you, so that
Yes.
you can help somebody else heal. So Heal the Human is found on Anchor. It's me being vulnerable. If a guy out there is wanting to marry me, go and Heal the Human. You will learn everything you need to know, because I drop it like it's hot. It's real. It's important. And
Yes.
I tell people, if you don't heal, you really, really cannot be the person God expects you to be. Every person in the Bible who was successful, God touched them, Jesus touched them in a special way, and they were never the same again.
Yes.
They
Yes.
needed to be healed. And a lot of us are not taking that time to do the inner work. When you do the inner work, that is when everything works. When you do the inner work, that is when life starts. When you see yourself as I am in a mess, but my mess is a message, and I can monetize my message, monetize my gift. I can make a difference in the world, a difference in my life, and I can live this life the way God intended it to be.
And she's dropping it like it's hot. It's fire. Somebody called the fire department before we explode on this show tonight. So, is there anything else you're working on right now, Miss Candice?
Um, Right now, I am working on a product called a host in a box. So basically, it's
Mm-hmm.
all of me in one box with flashcards on icebreakers, activities, a workbook. So whoever you are, I
Yeah.
serve four different types of people. I serve four E's: entrepreneurs, educators, entertainers, and evangelists. So you could take the host in a box, pull a card out, and design an entire event with one card if you just
Wow.
use what I'm guiding. So God is showing me different ways how I could use my gift to help people. And I tell people it's not about the money. If it was about the money, you and
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't be talking, because I would be
Yeah.
working to see how I could get the money done. It's about the
Yeah.
impact. That is
Yes.
why I have the motto: one waters, right? One plants, another one waters, and we all feel its impact. Nicole, none of us are self made. We need to stop saying that. I'm self made. Nobody supported me. No. Somebody spoke into your life.
Mm.
One person planted a seed, but that person couldn't stay on the journey. So guess what? Another person brought water, and they poured water on that seed. And guess what? That seed with the water germinated by the grace of God is now that plant, that mustard tree that is bearing with fruit, hanging low for others to to grab from. The name of my company is A Mustard Seed Production. I use theater and film, online events to get persons to understand that they all have a seed that needs to be germinated so that they can have great impact. The mustard seed is a small seed, you could barely see it. But when it's planted in the right soil and it bears, man, impact for the world, for the world.
And I
So
love the name of your company. I love the event in a box. And I love when you say the mustard seed because it's the smallest seed with the biggest tree. I love, love, love this. What is your message to you want to get over? And you've spoken several messages, but is there one thing that is sticking out to you that you haven't spoken about yet that you would want to get over to, especially your fellow Trinbagonians?
mhm. Yeah. A lot of people are still stuck, and I want persons to know right before your breakthrough, there's something or someone that is going to try to break you. So,
Mm,
right before your breakthrough, right before the corner of you giving up, there's something or someone, I call it
yes.
external elements, that are going to try to break you. You know why? Because a broken person can't succeed. Something that is broken cannot go forward. Something that is
Mhm.
broken cannot be of use
Right.
unless God heals it and makes it new again. So I want to tell persons, do not give up. It sounds very cliche. Take
Mhm.
it as it is. Do not give up. If you are tired, drink some water, go and sleep. If you are tired, say a prayer. If you are tired, go on vacation, but don't give up. People say the devil don't take a day off. Why should you? I
That's
want to
true.
tell you, wake your successful self up. One of my mentors says it
I
all the
love it.
time. Wake your successful self up and know that you are a success and you are constantly becoming. You are becoming the version you are today, Nicole. When I talk to you next year, it's a different version because you are blossoming like a butterfly. Your wings are spreading wide, and people are noticing you. People are seeing the work that you're doing. People are seeing what you are capable of. So, my message right before your breakthrough, something will come to break you. Find your gift, find your why, put a price tag on it, serve God, serve yourself, and serve others. That's what I have to say.
Wow, 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 and wow. And so if you could meet, you were sitting down with some leaders, what
Mhm.
would be the message you would want to give that you would want to share with them? So whether it was the Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago or you were sitting before the UN because now you global. So
Right.
you were doing a panel discussion to the global leaders at the UN. What is that message you would want to give to them?
I would tell them, be their authentic self always, be honest, and be the door to open opportunities for those who have none. That's what I will tell them. A lot of people, when you are given a seat of power, it's not for your progress alone. It's for you to design a platform so others can progress. It's never for you. It's never for you. So I'll tell them, be authentic because a lot of them are wearing masks. Be honest and be the door to open opportunities. Remain humble. A lot of people, when they get status and power, you can't talk to them anymore,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
right? So, yeah, they need to open doors. When you have moments of power and opportunity, open the door. Open the door. Open your heart. Open your mind. Open your soul. Ian Riley said that to me this evening. He said, open, Candice, remain open, remain open. So it's important for us to know that we won't send here to have pleasure for ourselves, but to progress others. And when they progress, you will be the success.
You need a globe. You are going to manifest onto the global stage because your messages need to be heard. And if you could sit down to have dinner, breakfast, tea, lunch, or brunch with somebody, who would that be and why?
That's a great question. Hmm.
I believe I would choose just off the top of my head Michelle Obama.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Because after seeing her documentary on Netflix, I saw a woman who really had to find herself quickly
Mm-hmm.
to
Mm-hmm.
be the support that she needed to be to Barack Obama, President Barack
Mm-hmm.
Obama.
Mm-hmm.
I would want to talk to her because I want to know if my story from the Caribbean as a Black woman is the same
Mm-hmm.
story as someone from the US. I want to know where our paths connect, and I want to know what is possible. She wrote an amazing book on becoming, and I
Mm-hmm.
know all of us are still becoming. So I would love to sit with her and find out what does that look like? What will that feel like? And she's a mother, she's a wife, she was the first lady. So wearing all those hats, where do you find
Mm-hmm.
yourself in all of
Mm-hmm.
this, in all of these
Mm-hmm.
lights? You know? So yeah.
I love that. I love that answer. Yeah, she would be one of the people I would want to meet as well. And when you were if you were to think back, say 20 years from now, right? And maybe I would even push it up more. Maybe 30, 40 years from now. What do you think will matter to you most?
The lives I've touched. The
Mm.
lives I've touched. Right now, I have close to 40 persons that I work closely with because they came to my masterclass, and I have a 1 hour follow-up call with each of them. And when we are over, I told them, I don't want you to remain at this level. You must exceed me, and
Mm-hmm.
you must be able to set somebody free. When I was young in the Catholic Church, there was a song that we sang. He sent me to bring the good news to the poor, tell prisoners that they are prisoners no more, tell blind people that they can see, and set
Mm-hmm.
the downtrodden free. And go tell everyone. I want to create advocates that will tell people, take care of yourself, heal thyself, know thyself,
Mm-hmm.
serve thyself so that you can be a better service to the world. So the lives that I've touched, that will mean a lot to me. You know, that's it. The lives that I've touched and the service to God. Service to God is so important to me, and I need to impact more. So that is why I'm thankful for opportunities like this for exposure, because the more I'm exposed, the more I'm able to reach persons that I probably couldn't reach before. So yeah,
I
the
love it, and I
lives that
love
I've served will matter to me in the end.
that is powerful. And my last question for you tonight, well, second to last, is
Mhm.
we spoke about victory throughout the thing, and you are on Victory Speaks. So if you were to define victory, what would that definition be?
Okay. So victory to me would mean every day that you wake up, being grateful that you survive a new day, that is victory. Victory looks to me every time you decided to stick to your goals, and each week you could put a tick in a box, I accomplished, that is victory to me. Victory is when you are able to live with a thorn in your flesh and still say, Lord, I trust you. Lord, I believe in you. And I have overcoming power. That is victory. And finally, victory is being able to look yourself in the mirror and say, no matter what is said about me, no matter what is said to me, no matter what I say to myself, I am who I am. And the definition I am is who God says I am. That is
I
victory
love
to
it.
me.
I love that answer. And, I will give you that word. Is there anything else that you want to share with listeners live and on the replay? And I thank everybody who's tuned in tonight and, who have listened in. And you're so right, Serena. Candice, you're such a blessing. You truly are such a blessing. And I am so grateful and honored that you came here tonight to be on the show and to share your wisdom and your knowledge and your insight. And, they say, beauty is in the eye of the beholder, and there's such beauty coming in you, coming out of you, coming through you, and you're shining brighter than the brightest diamond there is. And I'm truly honored that I was allowed the privilege to speak with you and have this truly inspiring conversation tonight. So is there anything else is there sitting in your heart that you want to share tonight before we start wrapping up the show?
Yeah, I want to ask everybody listening to pray for me because you know, I don't tell people I'm perfect and I have arrived. There are still things that I battle with. So please pray for me. Um, Go and follow me on Instagram at Candice M. Andrews. Leave a note. Let me know that you are doing something good in this world. And the message to leave with you, be compassionate with yourself, connect with your maker on a regular, and love you, love you, love you, love you. My favorite quote from the Bible is, love covers a multitude of sins. And whenever you think you are too far gone, it isn't because God has left, but you have left the equation. He's always there. So he's
Mm.
going to hold your hand through this. We are going to overcome and be victorious coming out of this pandemic. Once we love each other, we love ourselves, and we continue to serve, this is going to blow away. Something new will happen, but we would have grown stronger wings to deal with it. And just like my bald head graduating across the stage, I saw myself as a bald eagle. You are going to soar, you are going to conquer, and you are going to win. My motto is, we are out here to win. So I want you to keep winning, be intentional, and keep loving. Keep loving.
And I love that image, the bald eagle. And maybe that's the image. You need to take the image of you with your certificate and put it next to an image of the bald eagle, and remember that you're how far you're soaring and how high that you're going. Candice, thank you so much for being a part of Victory Speaks tonight, and tuning in, and sharing your love and sharing your wisdom. And for those of you who are listening live and you found this valuable, please share it. Share it with your friends, share it with your family. Candice has shared so much of her heart, so much of her love with us, and so much of her wisdom. And you can get the replay on YouTube at Victory Speaks 7, on the Facebook page, Victory Speaks 77. Be sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel. Follow us on Twitter and on Instagram, Victory Speaks 7, and the podcast where we speak about living a victorious lifestyle and the victory formula. It is there. You can also catch Candice on Clubhouse, and we're going to do a Clubhouse together, Candice. And remember, and I repeat this one to you, Albert Pike says, what we do for ourselves dies with us, and what we do for others lives on forever. Remember, love is in the details. Every day, seek to have an inspired conversation with someone you love or someone you meet today or have met along the way. Your conversations can be inspired by your truth, your love, your story. Make sure they are meaningful. And sometimes you just need to give someone a smile. May you see the victory moments in your life this week and the days ahead. And as we get ready to leave this space, I want to offer you this tool to stay in a victory mindset so that you will be victorious in your wellness and have a revolution in yourself. Remember the vision. Be intentional with your vision. Cultivate your vision. And remember, there's a time of transformation. And you heard Candice talk about that tonight. The transformation of the seed, the transformation of the butterfly. And along the way, you have to be self compassionate. That is part of your self care. That is part of giving yourself the ovation. And remember to celebrate others along the way. Be that round of applause for another, and take that time to restore yourself. Take the time out. Remember, sometimes you have to say no to others to say yes to yourself, and yield to the process. Be humble, be teachable. Know that victory is your portion. You're in a revolution of minding your mind, enhancing your mindset, and I hope that you will continue to live a victorious life daily. Thank you for tuning in. We are so blessed and humbled to have you here with us tonight. Um, Shirma, thank you for tuning in. Marge, thank you for tuning in. Serena, Sarah, everybody live and on the replay, I really appreciate you tuning in. And we will see you on the next Victory Speak show. Be sure to tune in to look out for who's going to be the next guest. And, follow Candice on her Instagram. All the links are there. And remember to write down the victories of your day. Thank you for tuning in, and let your